Hi, I'm Dan. Thanks for checking in on Dimgaard. This Dan on D&D doesn't really pertain particularly to Dimgaard. It's a more general D&D issue. What inspired it was I was watching the Dungeon Dudes. They have a YouTube channel, and it's very good. And if D&D is your hobby, you should be following it. They have good stuff on there. They have this sort of series where they rank the different subclasses of the different classes. They were looking at the peace cleric out of Tasha's, and both of them agreed. They were looking at the domain spell list that on this. They both agreed and said on that spell list the only two spells that they would regularly cast would be aid and Rary's telepathic bond, and on that spell list was Sanctuary. And so when they did that, it took me aback. I was like, well, Sanctuary is probably the cleric spell that I use the most, both as a DM. In fact, I will often replace an NPC's existing spell, first level wizard cleric spell, with Sanctuary because I use it so much. And then as a player, I haven't actually done the tabulations, but I'm fairly sure it's the most used spell that I ever use as a cleric, as a player character. But then I was thinking, yeah, that's true. Whenever I use Sanctuary, it is almost always a surprise for other players and DMs, and I use it, I guess, in ways that people don't normally think of. I may be the only one who's thought of it, using it in this strategic way. So, the spell is designed so that the idea is to protect someone and get them out of harm's way, or to suppress a volatile situation, right? So you can't make an attack against the creature under the Sanctuary unless you beat the DC of the Wisdom saving throw. But what I use it for all the time and is we're in combat. There is an ally who's in melee with an opponent, and that melee is that opponent is a pretty heavy hitter, pretty hard hitter, and so on the cleric's turn, I'll have the cleric cast either as a player character or as an NPC when I'm the DM, cast Sanctuary on the ally who's in melee with that heavy hitting opponent. And then I will go about my other actions on the cleric's turn. And then the opponent's turn rolls around and they can't attack that ally unless they beat the Wisdom saving throw. And so the type of creatures who are opponents who end up in melee typically don't have good Wisdom saving throws. So it puts them in a very difficult situation. They can probably waste an attack because they can't make the Wisdom saving throw, or they can move away and targets a different creature, but that's going to provoke from the creature under Sanctuary. And I will end the Sanctuary, but it still allows the ally to use their reaction as an additional attack. And usually the ally who's in combat there, we want them taking that extra attack with a reaction. So it's you end up it's just an incredibly powerful use of a first level bonus action cleric spell. And then, so like I said, whenever I do that, it is almost always surprising to the other players and the DM that I'm using it in that way. I guess it's not something that people normally think of that strategically, but I suspect that now that you've been exposed to it, that you will start using it as well. It's just, it's sometimes it's considered cheesy or exploitive, but it's fair, right? There's no reason why only Dan can do that. I'm not bending the intention of the rules or the rules as written, or even the intention of the spell. The spell is intended to protect someone from from an attack from an opponent. And so I'm just doing that. Yeah, so there's my little nugget of D&D strategy. Maybe it's just too exploitive. I don't know. It's, like I said, it's always surprising. It's never been a point of contention though. And I do note that once other players have seen me doing that, they start doing it themselves too. So there you go. Real quick, down on D&D. If you found this useful or interesting, and you think that other people should see it, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button as well while you're at it, so you can get all of these. It really does help the YouTube algorithm, helps these videos get seen by more people. I also like to close every video I make with an invitation to engage with me. I'm on a lot of social media channels: Discord, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. You can leave comments on YouTube that can get to me, or you can in those various media channels, those social media channels. I'm usually pretty easy to recognize. I don't try to be obscure or anonymous. Please feel free to engage me directly about Dimgaard or D&D or even other life topics. I try to make myself infinitely accessible. And again, thanks you for tuning in. It would be great if you shared this in your own media channels. If I saw a link to it on someone's Twitter account, it would make my day. It's always more influential whenever someone who's not directly connected with Dimgaard links to it in some manner. And we really, really do appreciate that. So thanks for checking in, and see you next time.